Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Sadiqa, and happy Monday. I wanted to share the stream I had last week, Thursday, on the 8th. I didn't get a chance to upload it. I had a very, very busy weekend. But, really quick dream. It was myself and it was my son Evan. He's going to be 16. And we were on a bus in the Bronx, New York. We were like on East Tremont Avenue, I think it was. And he had a radio in his hand, like an old school radio. And he was talking with like some other young teenagers. And I told him, hey, I'm going to get off the bus. I need to go get a radio real quick. And he's like, okay. But on the bus, everyone was trying to listen out to the radio because there was no internet. There wasn't anything. That's why he had the radio. And when I got off the bus, I immediately met up with my mom. We went into this store and I was like, okay, Mom, we have to get a crank radio. And she's like, okay. So at that time, we knew everything stopped, like the United States stopped. There was no internet, there was nothing. So that's why we needed to get a radio. So we went into the store and there was the salesman, and I asked him, I said, hey, I need to get a crank radio. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I just sold the last one I had to this guy that just walked out the door. So I'm like, okay, man. So I'm looking around and I look above the register and there was an old Walkman. Some people may not even know what a Walkman is, but there was an old Walkman, old school, that you put the cassette tape in and you could also listen to the radio. So I go, oh, let me get that right there. I could listen to the radio on that. I just need to get some batteries. So he goes, okay. And then me and my mom, we leave. Then the scene changes. And it changes to me being in an apartment in the Bronx with my best friend, Desiree. And I'm in one room and she's in the next. And she lives in the Bronx still. And we're packing, and I'm packing up the clothing for me and my family. And I'm folding it up really tight to get it all packed in like book bags. And I had my wagon and I was putting the clothes in like the wagon. And I look at her and I go, hey, I'm sorry you couldn't get on your cruise, but we have to go. And she leans back and she goes, I know, we just got to pack up. And in the dream, I knew that we had to go to like these shelters. They looked like storage units. There were like a ton of storage units is what it looked like, but it wasn't a storage facility. It was just like where everybody just had to go. We had to go there. That was the end of the dream. So I woke up and I opened my Bible. Can't even think of the verse offhand, but it took me to the book of Jeremiah where it says, Babylon is like a threshing floor. And I can't think of the verse offhand because I don't have my Bible with me. But I'll get back to you guys with that. So then I start meditating and just dwelling on the dream. I had to get ready for work the next day, of course. So while I'm thinking, the first thing I thought about was the region I was in. I wasn't where I currently live at in Atlanta. I was in New York City, where we used to live. So when I think about a region, I think about where it starts, where it begins in certain dreams. And in that dream, it started in New York City. And also in the dream, I knew that it was a plague going on, and there was a lot of people on the street. There was something going on, and in the dream in my head, I just knew there was a plague. I don't know how to describe it, but I just knew that's what was going on. So when I was thinking about the dream, and writing it down quickly, I never got a chance to really sit down and interpret my dream, but I need to go ahead and do that. But some keys to the story is I always ask God, what do we need? What are some essentials that we may need for whatever is going to happen? And so far, what I got, we need lots of water. We need food. I've been started a pantry years ago. And we need a crank radio, because if there is no electricity and we have no internet, how else would we be able to actually hear what's going on? So I Googled, where to get a crank radio from. Amazon, you can get them for like $13 on up, based on the quality of what you want. So the region where whatever is going to happen, and may not be now, may not be another year or 2 or 3, nobody knows, but the Lord has given us a lot of dreams to get prepared. Some people believe it, some people don't, but these are warnings, and God is telling us how to get ready. So let's just get ready. So the region where it began is New York City. So for those in New York City, I think that you really should start preparing. Like I said, it may not happen now. It may not happen in months from now. But one thing I can say is when I first began to have these dreams, they started back in 2016, 2017. And I have a dream book where I used to write my dreams down. Where I still do. It's the same dream book. It's a really big book. And the dreams about things happening, like aliens coming to attack. I have so many dreams about motherships coming to attack, aliens coming to attack. And I hope people really don't think that aliens are actually aliens from outer space. Aliens represent a foreigner. You know, when you fill out a form and it says alien, and you ask people, well, in the business I am, and ask them if they have the alien registration card. An alien is a foreigner. It's not a real alien, guys. So for those of you having those dreams about aliens coming to attack us, aliens just mean a foreigner. That's all it means. So, yeah. So when I first started having those dreams that were further apart. I will have one every few months, and they got closer and closer. Now I'm having these dreams every other day, 2 times out the week. They're consistent. They're back to back to back. Meaning back then, God was showing us what's going to happen. But what the time wasn't now. So it's just like the beginning of birth pains. The contractions are further apart. Then they get closer and closer and closer. So as to my dreams. Before they were further apart when I used to have these dreams. Now the dreams are closer and closer and closer. I mean, the time is getting closer and the time is getting near. So for those of you that want to take the dream however you want, like some people, they just don't listen. But I mean, that's okay. The dream didn't come from me. The dream was given from God to me. So I want to share it to people because I don't want people to be caught out there, because there's going to be a lot of people to be caught out there. I know you guys are hearing about the prophetic dreams that people are having and the warnings. You guys are just listening to it, but who's actually really taking heed to it and actually taking the advice from God's people? God doesn't want us for no reason. He does not want us to get caught out there. Now, granted, some people can't afford to do certain things. God is going to make sure that you have. He's going to sustain you. It's not for you to be scared. It's just for you to get prepared. Because even in the midst of a war, you can still have peace. So let's focus on getting prepared. Ask God to give you guys some dreams. Ask Him to show you what's coming. I never asked Him to show me what's coming. He just started giving me these dreams and showing me different things. So let's just get a little bit more prepared, guys.